Yes, like your birthday.
Wherever we are, Hashem should answer our tefillos. He knows our heart.
We could stand here. This is a really good idea. You can come to my kitchen. Your kitchen,
Yeah.
you can also sit.
Oh,
Just
wow.
look at the
It's a little
fire.
obstructed because there's an illegal roof across from me, but we don't want to talk about that. I was hoping, it was there in 2006, and I kept thinking, just if there was nobody living there, just if Katusha just right here, wouldn't hurt anybody. Just right on that roof, maybe. Didn't happen.
Reb Melech Biederman, maybe you've heard him, said this past Shabbos was Shabbos Upro, the wedding before Shabbos for a wedding. The chassan to be gets up and he's called to the Torah, and that was this past Shabbos. And so all of the Jewish people are looking forward to the joy and the happiness that's part of us. We're part of him, and it's interesting. Why is this? Like he was thousands of years ago. Here, there's one here. Oh. Why is everybody attracted to Rabbi Shimon? Now, if we recall, Rabbi Shimon it was right at the time of the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, and the rabbis got together in a place called Yavne, and they said the Torah is going to be forgotten because in the Beis Hamikdash we had this closeness. We felt it. We felt immediately if we sinned, we got back on Hashem's good side. We did tshuva. We brought a korban, and we understood so well. And now that it's destroyed, when it was destroyed, the rabbis were afraid it would be forgotten. And so the Torah Shabbal Peh, which was until then just oral, not allowed to be written, was able to be written down so that we would have something to hold us in the long gullus, which is until today. And he got up and said, Kilo Sishkach Mipizaro, the Torah will not be forgotten. From the seed, the child of and that's Rosh Hashanah's Yochai, the child, and that's Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Why do we call him Bar Yochai? He had a name. Reb Shimon. Why do many Bar Yochai? Why do many? Because it's so hard to believe that he was born from a woman, that he had a parent, seemed like a malach. But now when we call him Bar Yochai, we know that we could get close to that. We could hope and want and desire to be like him. And the most beautiful thing he said is the kesher, one of the most, to me, it hits me, my heart, the kesher chad niksharti. My whole life was one long kesher, connection with Hashem. Everything, kesher, connection. The kesher chad, one connection, niksharti. It was my whole life. And we see that, and we see his life, and we see that he revealed to us secrets of Torah, the panemius, the inside. And when we learn panemius of Torah, not necessarily the Kabbalah way, but the women's way, we don't have to know all these. I don't have to know all these names, but when I know how much shashu'i, how much pleasure, how much joy, how much excitement, my lighting candles, making shahako in all the world, they turn over somersaults. That gives me a real desire. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you. That gives me excitement and passion to make that shahako. It's not by road. It's when I know how much Hashem loves me. What did he say, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? Ananda chavivus Italia. We depend on mutual love. What is the Zohar full of? How much Hashem loves us and how much we love him and how important stage center in each of us is. We're not there somewhere forgotten, in Baltimore somewhere or in, I don't know, New Jersey, where? Yeah, no, each Jew is the center of the whole world, and each shahako makes one. So this is what Rabbi Shimon taught us in the Zohar. I'm not making it like surfacey when it was so deep. It was so deep. But what was the depths for? To know how much Hashem loves us. Not to become professors of Kabbalah. No. to be livers of Kabbalah, to live in. And each of us, the plainest, farthest person, is so beloved to Hashem. And this is called Sodot, the secrets of the Torah. And what are the secrets? The secret is each and every one of us. You could look at a person who looks so far from Hashem, with every kind of, rings coming out of every part of, and their inner is just desire. I want to give you nafas. I want to be good. How they grew up and life's experiences. The Yetzer Hara is working overtime right before the Geula, right before the final redemption to get us away. And sometimes he's successful, but only temporarily.
So
bottom line.
Secrets of Zohar are
Each of us is a secret of the Zohar, because each of us is a secret. We're not what we look like. We look plain, we look like, no, each of us is holy. Each of us is a malach. Each of us says shahakol, or wants to, or would if we knew about it, or would if we could, if we didn't have, that something's blocking us from saying shahakol. There was a great rabbi, there is a great rabbi, he lives until 120 years. His name was Rev Yaakov Meir Shechter. He lives in Jerusalem, big rabbi. Years ago, his brothers who lived in America then, his brother's daughter left Judaism. And she met a man who also left from, Meir Sharim Judaism, and yeah. And what did her chatan? That's right. Daven for to keep the golden chain alive, and we'll all come back. And on Yom Kippur, he ate like shrimp on a yacht. I mean, he did it all at once. He got the the bingo. He got the jackpot. And he heard Rabbi Yaakov Meir Shechter that his brother was so distraught. He said, if they get married, he can't continue to live. And his relative said, I know him very well. He just can't continue to live. So they asked the relative here to speak to him. What can I say? Don't marry her. It's not going to go over. Come back to Judaism. What can I say? So he said, you know what? Let Rabbi Yaakov Meir Shechter speak to him. This great Rav, his fiance's uncle. He was in Israel at the time, the boy, the Behar, and he came to speak to him. They spoke for a few hours. And afterwards, he calls his brother. He said, he's such a nice guy. He's such a nice person. Why are you giving up on him so fast? Like, why aren't you embracing to marry your daughter? He's so nice. What's so nice about him? So he explained, he said that I asked him, why do you sin? Why did you do all these sins on Yom Kippur? Why? He said he wants to disconnect from Hashem, and he knows by doing sins, a person disconnects. So he tried to add up all the sins that he could think of in order to disconnect. To which Reb Yaakov Meir answered him, said to him, you know the secret. I've been trying to teach my yeshiva boys the secret. That sin disconnects us from Hashem. It's not worth it. Keep the kesher, like Reb Shimon, keep the chibur. Each mitzvah is a chibur. It's not just I make shahako. It's a connection. You know that. How do you know that? That's amazing. You must have a very deep, pure soul. I've been trying for years to convince and tell and teach this, even to myself. So he said, and through the years, or maybe more, I don't know, time, both he and his Kala, the niece, came back to Judaism. And they have a child today living in Meisha. And that was what a tzaddik does. It says in Pirkei Avos, Amech kulam tzaddikim. You're all your nation. Now we look around, and I mean, not here in this room, I only see tzaddikot. But we can look around in the street, and she doesn't look like very big tzaddik. But he doesn't, leather jacket, and what comes out of his mouth. So what does it mean? Amech kulam tzaddikim. One way to think of it is tzaddik. The tzaddik turns us into tzaddikim because they're matzdik. They see our greatness, like with Yaakov Meir Shechter saw his greatness when doing everything in the book on Yom Kippur. Look how he believed in Hashem.
Right.
A different boy said, I'm angry at Hashem. So the Rav said, I'm jealous of you, and I know I know that you believe in Hashem. Otherwise, you wouldn't be angry.
Right.
Yeah, there's no anger. Exactly. So the tzaddik looks into the true beauty and depth and of each and every one. That's what Reb Shimon Bar Yochai does. That's why so many people from all different parts of Jewish people come to him, especially on Lag BaOmer. They're drawn. They don't even know why. Why am I not going to the beach? What am I doing here? It's hot. It's messy. It's crowded. You know, why am I here? I don't know. And they're there. And we're there because he draws us and loves us. He sees our good.
Wow.
He's a tzaddik that makes us the Amech Kulam Tzaddikim. He's one of the true tzaddikim that comes down into the lowest place to bring us up. And
the rabbi talking to the young man who was doing all these things on Yom Kippur, he was like bringing out the diamond by saying, you know how to disconnect. You can only know how to disconnect basically unless you're really connected,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And then you can see how to disconnect. So how connected are you? You
Very
know,
beautiful,
so it
right.
touched on him and really like, you know, in a very deep way. I
mean,
feel,
he-
yeah.
I feel that too.
Yeah.
I feel he felt
Yeah.
that there's hope for me.
Right.
Hmm?
There's hope for me. I'm not a lost cause. Hashem
Right.
didn't put a big
Right.
X in red
Right,
on me.
right,
I'm one of his children.
right.
And that's what the tzaddik comes all the way down to teach us when they were alive and they're greater after. So that's why we just go to him and say, I'm not acting the way I want. I'm not talking the way I want to talk, but I want. And that's what Hashem wants, our desire. Because nothing can overcome desire.
Our
We just
ratzon.
want, our ratzon. There was a boy in Muncie, and he was 13 years old, and he graduated elementary school in Al Cheder, and he wanted to go to this yeshiva. But the elementary school principal told the Rosh Yeshiva ahead of time, don't accept him. He's a troublemaker. He's a leader. He causes all the boys to get against the system and against school and to have fun and to make fun and to. It's not worth it. He's going to draw everyone down like he did in Cheder. So don't accept him. So he comes for an interview, and the principal says, "I'm sorry, there's no room." He said, "But I want so badly to come to your school, to your yeshiva." He said, "I'm really sorry. What can I do?" That night, there's a knock on his door where he lives. It's this boy. Boy, can I speak to you for a moment? Sure, come in. He has an envelope and it's shaking a little. There's noise in there. He said, "What's that?" He said, "Here, open it." Opens it up. He takes out the contents. There's a $100 bill, a $50 bill, 20, 10, and some change. And he said, "What's this?" The Rosh Yeshiva. He said, "This is all the money I have in my life. It's money I got from my bar mitzvah. My grandmother gave me some money for my birthday. This is all my money. I want you to have it for your yeshiva. And please accept me." He couldn't turn it down. It wasn't the $183.10. It was his desire. Hashem can never turn us down. All we have to do is want. Sometimes we don't want. I'm upset and I don't want. I'm tired, headache. Things are not happening so much fun in my life. I don't want. So what we can do is want to want.
Right.
I don't want, but I want to want. And I read in the Sacred Ones, we can do that 7 times. I don't want, but I want to want. I don't want to want, but I want to want, up to 7 times. And after that, it gets so confusing, it's probably forever. But the inside kernel of who we are is pure. And Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and other tzaddikim bring that out. And for us to realize that that's the soul of the Zohar. That's the secret. That's the secret of the panemius, of the inside of the Torah is our inside. And when we realize the chibur, that we're connecting to Hashem with our shahakol, we're going to make it with so much joy. We're not going to forget it. We're not going to, oh, another day. No, I could say shahakol today. I'm on. I'm in. And that's the love and joy that he shows us. That's Lag BaOmer. And that's one of the excitements of why we come to him and why we're here in Tzfat and why we overlook his hever and why we're alive. And it's life. This gives us life. A couple came to him. It's brought down in Gemara Yesharim to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, and they wanted to get divorced. They were married for many years. They had no children. And he said to them, he advised them, just like you got married with a little nice wedding, music, Suda, have a nice divorce party, music, food, you name it, wine. So they did. And when the husband was like tipsy with wine, he says to his wife, take anything you want from our home. It's all yours. Take anything you want. And the next morning he wakes up and finds himself in his father-in-law's house. What am I doing here? She said, yesterday you said, he was drunk, but he said it, take anything you want. Take the thing most precious to you. With a full heart, take it. She said, I took what's most precious to me. And then they went back to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and he said, stay married and you will have a child. And they did. So our question the rabbis asked, what do you have to go through all this, this story, just say, give him a bracha. Because when they were upset at each other, or they didn't feel the closeness, they didn't remember the love from when they were first married, nothing would happen. But when they could come back to that love, and he brings that love, and Hashem gave us the Torah. He said, Torah, keep the Torah. And I'm married to you forever. Shavuos is coming up. It's a wedding between Hashem and us. And there were times that we sinned. And we were afraid that Hashem would cancel the marriage because that wasn't one of the conditions. Jews sin. No, then we want to come back. We want to do tshuva, and we want the relationship. And Hashem says, okay, you're forever. We're forever. And the love is reawakened. Renewed. Thank you. Renewed.
It's a great renewal of vows. So that's why that word came to me.
Rekindled, yeah. Alive, rekindled. And so that's Lag Bomer, wherever we are. That's Lag Bomer. Our love for Hashem, our desire. Even if we're not holding there, I want to. Here, take all my money. I want so much to be in. Take my 2 cents. Take the little I have, but it's for you, Hashem, because I know you love me. The Zohar says over and over how much Hashem loves us. And
you know what they say in Hebron? That the neshama of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is by the apple of the mouth. So the neshama is very big. It could be there too.
Yeah. It's above. And what we can get through Simcha. What do we do actually in Meron? What do we sing and dance and eat? A lot of prayers going on. And cut hair. They say, and what? They say that inside is like Yom Kippur, crying, begging, and wanting. Hashem, I want you. I want closeness. I want to feel. I want love. I want to do mitzvahs with passion and joy. And outside, it's like Simchas Torah, like Purim. In fact, Purim and Lag Bomer spells the word Peleg, right? Pelag. Pei is Purim, Lamed Gimel is Lag Bomer. The same day of the year that Purim fell, Lag Bomer will fall. In other words, Purim was Tuesday. And there's a connection, that deep joy, that deep connecting of the Torah with joy. And it's tonight, it's so exciting. It's like we're so rich, we're so full. And this is Lag Bomer. And so it says here that Lag Bomer is called a Yom Tov and Gil. Gil is joy. And Gil is the same as Lamed Gimel, switched around. Gimel Lamed Gimel is joy. And so this is basically a day of joy. People dance and sing and eat. And eat. It says about Rachel Imenu, how could you go to a mom and not eat? So it's good when we go to Rachel, Kever Rachel in Beis Lechem, have an apple, a cracker, and also all the tzaddikim, not just her. We go to Reb Shimon and just it's a wedding. And every day have something to eat. There's that closeness. It's so it's so sweet. It's so intimate. It's so real. Nothing's passed away how many thousands of years ago? A long time ago. And what's our connection? It's so alive. It's so vibrant. It's so today. It's so personal to each of us. And with that, I want to go into the Parsha, because Parsha also teaches us Behar Bechokotai. Beautiful, beautiful lessons of connecting to Hashem through his Torah and the feeling that we have when we learn Torah. So if we could start from the first pasuk in Bechokotai, that's number 2. Like, oh, we have no, we have extra ones.
So
Oh.
never turn over the page.
Yeah, it's on the same. It's number 2, chapter 26, pasuk 3. Somebody like to read the Hebrew of it?
After that.
Okay.
In Bechokotai Rechov Yerushalayim. If you follow my laws and faithfully observe my commandments, to do them, I'm listening.
Great, great. And Rashi, somebody?
And take heed of my commandments, study the Torah laboriously with the intention to take heed and to fulfill its teachings as it is said, and you shall learn them and take heed to do them.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. We're not learning a Torah just to know it, although it's wonderful to fill our mind with Torah. So that when we're trying to follow asleep, we say, Vayomer Hashem Moshe, instead of, okay, that person said to me something not nice, just to fill Torah. Also to do. We're not here to become professors. We're here to live the Torah. And so Rashi says, what does it mean? You should go in my way, learn Torah, like you said, Amel, to really learn it sincerely, to put my whole self into it. Why? To do it, to fulfill the commandments. Rashi says, to live the Torah, to experience it. And Reb Nosson says over here about learning the Torah and learning it with passion, with amal, with work and laboriously learn the Torah. People are going to clap, I'll stand up, I'm going to get a lot of fanfare, I'm going to be right, people are going to see how smart I am. No, learn the Torah because Hashem gave it to me and I want to know how to come close to him and what to do, Rashi says. I want to know how to live. Learn the Torah with a feeling of humility. Little old me is learning the Torah of Hashem, who created all the worlds. I'm learning it and he's telling me, keep Shabbos. He's telling me to do mitzvahs. He's telling me about the brachas. Of course I want to do it. I want to learn more so I can know what to do more. And not just the Torah of the 5 books of Moses and Moshe, but also he brings down Ish Yisrael tzarich tamid listakel b'seichel shel kol davar. The Jewish person should always look and learn from whatever happens to him. The bus goes by, it makes noise, it doesn't, it breaks down, it keeps going, I miss it, I don't, I get the job, I don't. Anything that happens in the whole world, in Russia, Ukraine, Moscow, whatever's happening, is to teach me personally and you personally and each of us how to come close to Hashem. If we can connect to the Seichel, shall call Davar, K'dei shayir lo ha-Seichel, Yizkar Hashem Yisbarach al-Yedei Oso ha-Davar. Everything has a Seichel. Hashem wouldn't put it in our eyes. We could all be sitting here and each of us sees something else. Firstly, you see this view and I see this view. And from where we're looking, and each of us is custom made. So Hashem is sending us hints to come close to him. And it's a beautiful story that shows us. Red Portugal is his name. He's a Sklena Rebbe. He was in Romania in the war. And then miraculously, he escaped to America. And he came here on a visit. He came to Eretz Yisrael on a visit. And he went to Meron for the first time. And he went to Rav Stern. He stayed by Rav Stern's house, who just passed away this year. And he, they were going into the kever by Reb Shimon. And when they got to the door, to the gate, they hear somebody inside say, Menuvel Arois. That means, you disgusting one, get out of here. Get lost. They were shocked. And this Reb Portugal was very shocked. first time, and this is what he hears. So Reb Shter looked around real fast, and he saw Yankel, who was yelling to his Yetzer Hara. He was yelling to the inside of him, "Get lost, leave me alone." I always sometimes tell him, "Get out of here. You're enough. Go on, don't go on to anyone else, but you take a vacation. Here, have some water. I'll give you coffee. Get lost. Like enough. I want to live. I want to enjoy. I want to make a child. It's bothering me. Telling me about all my problems over and over again, so I won't get out of bed. Get out of here." So he was saying, "Manubal Royce, get out of here." So the Shter came up and said, "Don't take it personally. He was nothing to do with you. He was talking to his Yetzer Hara. Still," he said, "everything that happens is from Hashem. Everything is
Right.
divine providence."
Exactly, you heard it.
If he heard it
And
the
how
first
he-
time, and how, he's not going to come in until he perfects himself, until he works on his middos, until he does something. He's going to spend 2 weeks. What did he do during those 2 weeks? He saw there were boys in Meron that had no connection to learning Torah. He opened up a yeshiva, and it's there today on the right-hand side.
Wow.
It says Beis Abraham or something. Abraham, ooh, flying Torah. Wow, wait.
You gotta hide.
You're on the team.
You made it.
Yeah. Bring a basketball here. So it's open. It's so that Chesed Lavram it's called. It's on the right hand side when you're going up, and I know the principal lives in my building, Sal Sheva, Rabbi Greenbaum, and he gathered these boys and he started to set them up in learning to become Torah true Jews. And then he went back to Rabbi Shimon. So the person, my dear friend Sarah Bela, shout out to her, she told me this. Actually, last week when I was on the way to Meron in a bus, I couldn't wait till Lag BaOmer. I had to get there like that little first course, that little taste, like it was already exciting, already no cars went up. You have to get left off on the main street. And usually get off, and I say to Hashem already when I'm in the house, could you please find me someone to drive me up the mountain? So usually just somebody stops, I say thank you Hashem, and I get a ride up. This time there are no cars, so it's okay. It's good exercise and it's worth it. Who was it? The Rabbi of the Gemara said when he would go up, then it was all rocks. He would go up on all fours to get to Rabbi Shimon. And he was a big Rabbi of the Gemara. I don't remember names very well. So there's 4 ways. So Sarbela, my friend, Sarbela Krieger, told me Rabbi Waxman, she heard this on a shir, Rabbi Waxman said there are 4 ways to respond when something happens. Not to our liking, something like stressful or stressing. One is anger. Who dare me? Who dare call me that? Who dare yell out that? Who dare do that to me? And that's not a good way to respond because there's Hashem in the world and the person was sent. Just we don't yell at the mailman when he gives us a letter that IRS, we owe them a lot of money. Would you give me this? I don't even know what's written inside, So the person, what does it say before Mashiach will be a door that hit like the dog. He hits the stick. He bites the stick. Not the person that sent the stick. So of course I have to try to realize it's all from Hashem and it's all for our good. Not only custom made, but custom made because he loves us. Yeah. That's one way. And the other is depression. Oh, I wasn't accepted. I got to Meron. Look what I heard. I'm nothing. I'm going back to sleep. I'm turning over. I'm not going to make it. No, everything is to lift us, not to push us down. Everything Hashem does is to bring us closer, not farther. It says the first 3 words of the Torah is Bereshit bara Elokim. In the beginning, God created. The last letters of those 3 words spell out the word MS, truth. Hashem created the world with truth. But the Malachim came, the Malach, the angel of truth, came to him and said, "What are you creating a world for? It's full of lies, of deceit, people fooling each other." So what did Hashem do? He took that Malach, threw it down. Hashem was not interested in the truth. Hashem was interested in the truth of truths. The truth could be l'rachei, and he was true. He was right, this Malach. There is a lot of sheker, of falsehood here. But Hashem, that truth will push us away. I'm so bad. That's a depression. I'm so bad, I didn't deserve it. I'm going to give up. I'm not going to try to go to Meron. I'm not even going to, God forbid, a person can think from depression, really fall off. Like, he doesn't want my shahako. He doesn't look at me. No, that truth Hashem didn't want. But Tishlach, he threw that truth down. He wants the truth of truths. That's to bring us up to Makare. That's why depression, sadness is so dangerous and so unhealthy. Takes us away. The truth is how much he loves each of us. So the third way is look better. It can disregard it. What does that have to do with me? He was talking to his Yetzirah. I'm going into Meron. He was like, that's a healthy way. That's a positive way. Somebody yells, okay, it's their problem. She has to work on her middos. Maybe she's jealous. Maybe she woke up with a headache. Shouldn't draw me down for the next 24 hours. You know, it's like, that's a healthy way to react. Nothing's going to stop me or get me down. But even higher is what Portugal, Sklener Rebbe did. He said, it's hashgacha pratis if I heard it.
What do I do with this?
Yes. And he spent 2 weeks getting a Torah institution that's still there today. The Rosh Hashanah said, if we see somebody being Michal Shabbos driving on Shabbos, let's say, we should feel, I saw it because I also do something. I also do something wrong. Why did Hashem show me that? Because I also do something wrong. Now the Baal Shem Tov kept Shabbos.
Right.
So how could he learn a lesson for himself? Because Talmud Chacham is called Shabbos, the true Torah scholar. He's Shabbos Tikulei, he's Shabbos. His life is that connection. And Shabbos comes from Tashuv, Lashuv, to return to Hashem from joy, from Ahava, from love. And so he could feel maybe I don't respect Talmud Chacham as much as I should, in my way. But it's always a hint from Hashem, and it's always l'karev lo l'rachek, to bring me closer. And so he did a cheshbon and nefesh, right? What does Hashem want? And look what came from that. So we have ways to respond to everything, but to be sure in our heart, Hashem is not pushing us away because he's like sick of us, God forbid, or that's it. No, because he said, I am engaged to you forever, with any sin that we do. So if we could ask a question, the two questions up here, how can we as women toil in Torah? So what did we just, anybody have an answer from there as like what we were just talking about in toiling in Torah? It's true, we learned so beautifully, thanks to Judy, and we're here for 10 years learning. If we can learn this Torah, not so smart, not so I can win someone in an argument, not so people will rather, what? Lasot. Rashi said, to live it and to be connected to Hashem through it, to feel Hashem, because the words of his Torah is him. He gave us his nefesh, his essence, to the words of Torah. And now if we go back to number one, because this coming Shabbos is two parshas, Behar and Bechokotai. And would somebody like to read number one? It's in Behar, chapter 25, pasuk 55.
It is to me that the Jewish people are servants. They are my servants, my free from the land of Egypt. I, your Hashem.
Wonderful, thank you. And there's a little short Rashi afterwards. Do you have a sheet?
Starei Kodai. For to me, the children of Israel are servants. My document, the purchase is of an earlier day.
Hashem, they're fighting over us. The slave who wants to, a person might keep him forever. Hashem says, no, at Yovel, he's free. I bought him first. He's mine. Hashem has claim to us. And
this pasuk is related to the Yovel.
I think so. So I just want to peek. Can I peek on this? And that's just a good basketball player. And it's interesting. It's sometimes we're called servants to Hashem, like in this pasuk, they're my servants, and sometimes we're called children, like it says in Devar Yudalid 14. Banim atem Hashem Elokechem, you are children to Hashem. B'ni Bechor Yisrael, Hashem says back in Shemos, my child, my firstborn. What's the difference between a servant and a child? Well,
we say it in the davening by Shofar.
yeah,
We say in Kebanim, in Kabadim.
right.
So
Right.
that's in Kebanim Rachmeinu Krachim Avabanim. Then, right, if we're like sons, then have Rachmanis on us like a father has on his child. In Kabadim, and if our relationship is like slave, servant,
Mhm.
then Einenu Lechat Tzliot, our eyes are
Gazing always to you, looking
right, like hoping to you,
hoping,
Yeah.
like a servant,
like you're dependent.
a servant.
Right.
It's a very high level to be like a servant,
Yeah, right.
to do the orders, everything the master says, I'm there, I'm on.
Right.
He owns me. But it's even a higher level to be a child. Because a servant does things because he has to.
With the child with
With love. It's like our body is a servant to Hashem. Oh, I have to daven now. I can't eat breakfast. Okay, I'll eat soon. Oh, I'm fleshig. I can't have that pizza. Oh, well, it's going to be cold. Oh, well, I have a toaster oven. Everyone's having pizza. That's my body. I'm a servant to Hashem. And if I could break my will to Hashem's, that's very high. Let's just think of our soul. Our soul, our children to Hashem. If we could say pizza, I'm in Hashem's embrace. Who can think about pizza? Pizza? Let it be cold. Give it to them. Pizza? What are you talking about? I'm Hashem's daughter. And actually his only daughter. That's so much higher. And that, like, I don't know if any of us, I'll talk about myself, maybe you guys can. I don't know if I could like live up to that. And I'm hoping to live up to being an eved, a servant, where I do like, okay, no pizza now. Don't even look at the clock. It's 10 minutes. No, hang on, another 10. That's for me very high and very exalted. And I hope to do that. But once in a while, each of us, if I could peek and strive and feel that feeling of being a daughter. Pizza? Not even on the 1 to 10 chart. Pizza? I'm a daughter. I'm in a relationship. Pizza? You know? I once asked my friend how her daughter is getting along in the neighborhood. She just got married and they moved somewhere. She says, neighborhood? She doesn't know what neighborhood she lives in. She's newlywed, married a month. She doesn't even know where she lives. She's in the clouds, you know? So pizza? I got 20 steps to walk up to my apartment instead of 10. I have an old fridge. I'm in love. So we can do it. We can do it and be a child. That is what he says. He says here right now, it's very beautiful to be a servant to Hashem, a servant of holiness. It's hard. I'm hungry. It's hard. And then when a person could get to the place, and even if we could do it once a lifetime, once in a while, I don't want anything, just what my soul wants, because my soul is the child of Hashem. My body is the servant. Hopefully. Like it says in the Torah, you should love Hashem with your neshama and with your body, with your Yetzer Tov and your Yetzer Hara. We should bring it in, and it's from love, Then we shegam haguf oheves Hashem oseritzona. We want to get our body on board to also do Hashem's will with love. And then we're called Ben Hashem, like it says, B'niata, you are my son. But Shimon Bar Yochai helps us a lot in the truth to feel like daughters to Hashem, to love him so much that the pizza is boring compared. He wants us to enjoy pizza. What does he want us to do on Shabbos? What does he want to do on Lag BaOmer? Eat, drink, live it up, have fun, make all kinds of yummy food. That's what he asks us to enjoy, and to enjoy it with him. let's start with that. Enjoy the food because he gave it to me, because it's kosher, because I made a bracha, because he wants me to be happy. And to learn these secrets, so dote of the inner workings of Torah, from the Zohar, it says about the Zohar, Da Chibura, Daskalia will take us out of Golas. This chibur, this composition called the Zohar will be into Geula. And the word chibur means also chaver, chavera, connection. When we are
Like Hebron.
connected, Hebron. That's why Rabbi Shimon is there, maybe. Hebron.
Right. That, yeah, I used to live in Detroit, and I very much felt that the Ula would start, like, it's really, like, to know what's going on in the country, there is where it
Because
is.
the parents.
Right, the
alone.
parents, but
Yeah.
I mean, also, like, the Arabs and the Jews, like, there's all these kochot bitachon, like, yeah. Okay, so very
I just
strong.
want to share with everyone, if you want, I'd send it to you, or if Miriam wants to read it. It's called 10 Segula for Lag BaOmer, and it's really beautiful. There's 10 of them, and we don't have maybe time. I don't know time to read them. Do you want to read them?
Can you read them?
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. So if anyone wants to read,
Turn this around so cute.
okay. Number 1 is light 17 candles in relationship to the numerical value of the word tov.
Oh, right.
From Lag BaOmer to Shavuos, there are 17 days conducive to prayer, and it is good to pray for these days to be filled with light. It is recommended to pray for the closest people to you first, people with whom you wish to be pregnant or to be married soon, or anything else. The Admor of such Chav said that it is the best day to ask to meet your soulmate for marriage. We also taught that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, also known as Rashbi, frees the oppressed, and no one is more oppressed than a man or woman who longs to build to find his soulmate. The word Hilula means marriage, and Rashbi himself married on the day of Lag BaOmer. It's good to ask the master of the world for success concerning our children's marriages. We must pray for Torah learning. Creed Sadi writes that every year when Lag BaOmer arrives, man can be granted with the merit of reaching high spiritual levels, thus enabling him to a better understanding of the words of Torah. We will, number 4, we will pray for good housing. No man moved as much as the Rashbi did. He lived in Yavna, then he lived in Usha, after that in Tekoa and in Bnei Brak. He hid in study halls, and he also hid in a cave. Upon praying for housing, make the following request. Hashem, I would like a big house with many entrances, a parking lot, a garden, and a splendid view of the landscape. Hashem turns to Rashbi, who answers, I know what instability means for a person who has to move from house to house. Give him a comfortable house. Number 5, it's a great day to ask for children and numerous descendants. The segula consists in buying a bow and arrow, as is written, like arrows in the hand of a mighty man, so are the sons of one's youth. Number 6, there is a widespread segula with miraculous results. Surprising though it may seem, it consists of sending 18 rotos of beverage to Maroon. Rotos, R-O-T-E-L.
It's a certain amount.
Yeah, it equal 1 roto is 3 liters. Take it upon yourself. Your prayers fulfilled. You send 18 roto participants in the hulula. I have a neighbor who sends some bottles every year. But not 54. 12 years went by and she gave birth to a child she named Yochai. 6 years later, she had another child named Shimon. And 2 years later, she gave birth to a girl who she named Hod, Splendor. Because the day of Lag BaOmer is, according to the Zohar, the day of splendor. What is the meaning of the segula? When a person in Maroon is thirsty, then opens your bottles of drinks at the very second he drinks, Rabbi Shimon blesses you with the bracha. He composed himself the bracha ha'arei, the blessing of the host. May the merciful one bless the table for which we have eaten, and may he grant it all the sweets of the world, and may it be like the table of our Avraham Avinu, and may he lack nothing forever. Let him always be happy in riches and honor forever. May he not be ashamed in the world, in this world, and may he not be disgraced in the future world. When you send drinks to Marone, you invite and give to drink to a man who in the heat needs to urgently drink. What a relief it brings. Hospitality has the strength to bring about the resurrection of the dead. At the time of her son's death, the mother of the prophet Habakkuk, a respectful woman of Shunem, addressed the prophet. I beg you, revive my child. She pleaded. She offered him something to drink. The drink she gave to Elisha before he restored the child to live was by the means which the miracle materialized. And number 7, very important, sustenance. The Rashbi is the tzaddik who is responsible for Parnas in heaven. The manna descended to Bnei Israel in the desert for the first time at Lag BaOmer. It was in it the combined strengths of the month of Iyar and of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. What should we ask for? That blessing may lie in any little Hashem grants us. May you ever experience a situation when you come out of the department store with 500 shekel expense. But this is just, I'm just going to skip to 8. It's just a little. Number 7, this chapter expresses the greatness, gratitude to it. Number 9 is always the same day of the week is day of joy, where everything is reversed for a correct education of your children, for being parents and for to know how to guide and not just dominate. May we deserve all these blessings by the merit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and may his merit protect us. Amen.
Amen.
What son?
Yeah. Okay. Here, let me.
And Judy can send it to everyone.
Here, you know what?
About,
Give me your.
when you see someone doing a thing, let's say on Shabbat, you see someone driving.
Okay. The contact.
And it's because you have a thing in your own life, but not particularly bad thing inside, but something to work.
Much more subtle.
Yeah, I see.
Much more.
MORIA.
Could be much more like on a
Hey, Karen.
finer level.
Oh, I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay.
Hashem showed me
Now,
something that
I
we
have-
need.
Can I stop the recording? It's okay.
Contact. I have the
I'll stop it.
Oh,